Hello, my name is Christian Galloway, and this is a tutorial on how to get into airline mileage and points programs. Um, we're just going to go over some very basic information, and by the end of the program, you should have a pretty good idea on how to earn miles, how to spend miles, and some good strategies on what's the best situation for you on earning them. Airline mileage programs can be a great way to get free or discounted travel. So we hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. All right, just a little overview. As I said, my name is Christian Galloway, and me and my wife Leslie have been married for about 7 years. And when we got married, we wanted to travel, but obviously that's expensive, and that's really how we got into miles and points. And I can honestly say that miles and points has really helped us go to some places that we might not could have gotten to before. Either free trips or discounted trips on places we wanted to go. And we've gotten to see a lot of things just by taking advantage of these programs. Before we get into who should be getting into miles and points, I wanted to talk about who should not. Now, collecting miles and points is not for people with low credit, unorganized people, people who aren't good with money, and people who are planning on making a large purchase in the next 2 years. If you fall into one of those categories, I strongly advise you to not get into miles and points. We are talking about using credit and credit cards, and if you're not able to keep track of it, if you're not good with money, it is very easy to let a balance continue. And if you damage your credit, it's really not worth getting a few cheap plane tickets in the end. So just be aware of that. You'll need to be honest with yourself, but that's something to consider. So what are miles and points? Collecting miles and points, what we're talking about is being rewarded for spending money on things that you are already in your monthly budget. So what we're talking about is you spend money on groceries, insurance, your cable bill, your phone bill, electricity. All those purchases will go onto a credit card and earn points. We're not talking about creating new expenses. This is the money that you already have budgeted, that you're already spending, but by putting it on a credit card instead of just taking it out of your checking account, you can actually earn points back. Now, the most important point, and the point I'll stress several times, is when you do this, you're going to pay off your credit card every single month. All right, so here are some questions that we get when we start talking to people about mileage programs and points programs. Probably the first one would be, why would I put small purchases on a credit card? The interest is going to kill me. If you go to a McDonald's or a Burger King, you normally don't put a burger on a credit card because, after you string the interest payments out, what might have been a $10 purchase could be a $50 or $100 purchase by the time you end up paying off the card. Remember, the thing is that we said that we're going to pay the card off immediately. And most cards give you an interest-free grace period. So we're not going to leave any balances on that card for longer than the grace period is for that card. Most of the time it's 30 or 40 days. But as long as you pay the card off by that 30 or 40 days, you won't be charged interest on the purchases. Another question is, will this affect my credit score? The short answer is yes. It is going to affect your credit score, but if you use it correctly, it's going to have a very minimal effect on your credit score. My wife and I have been using travel hacking, which is also what they call collecting miles and points, for 7 years, and our credit has not been hurt at all. In fact, it's probably gone up a little. We're in the 750 to 800 range. What you will see is blips on your credit score, where it may go down just a little bit when you open a card or close a card, but you're also going to have a lot more positives on your credit score. You're going to have on-time payments. You're going to have cards being paid off every month. You're going to have a low debt to credit available ratio. So all those things should improve your credit overall. Now, that being said, we strongly suggest when we start talking about miles and points that you look into credit, how credit operates, how the use of credit cards affects your credit score, because it is a very significant thing. So another thing that people may say is, I'll never earn enough points for an entire vacation. Why should I collect points? Well, even if you don't spend enough to pay for an entire vacation, points can supplement your vacation budget and help you do more when you are on vacation. For example, let's say that your vacation budget, you go ahead and you buy the airline tickets, but maybe you use points to either pay for all or most of your hotel. Well, then you take that money that was budgeted for your hotel and you're able to do something else that was fun, like maybe a cool excursion that you had always wanted to do. All right, earning miles and points. What you'll find when you start looking into it is there are virtually unlimited number of credit cards that offer points, and all of them offer slightly different rates for slightly different things. Some travel cards will give you more for travel purchases. Some other ones will give you more for certain types of shopping or dining or so on and so forth. What you want to do is find a card that maximizes the points per dollar on the things that you buy the most. For instance, if you have a family and you spend a lot on shopping, maybe that's what you want to focus in on. Or if you're single and you eat out a lot, restaurants might be your thing. That you'll just have to kind of go through the offers and see which one benefits you the most. Now, normally, if you can get 1 to 2 good credit cards that focus in on the categories that you shop in the most, you can really maximize your thing. And again, we're going to put everything on these cards, everything that you possibly can. Usually the only things that you can't put on a credit cards are auto loan payments, other credit card payments, and mortgages. But we're going to do our shopping. If we do clothes shopping, we're going to do dining, cell phone bills, electricity bills, utility bills. If we do, obviously, airline tickets, we'll normally get a pretty good rate for those. Our grocery shopping is probably going to be one of your biggest, gas and insurance payments. Right here, I have kind of just a example budget and how this would equate in the points world. So again, this is just kind of sample. For gas, I did 2 cars, each being filled up 1 time a week for a month. An electricity bill, I really wish my bill was that low sometimes in the summer. Phone, groceries, dining out, insurance, and a clothing budget. So if you look at that, if you total it up at the end of the month, you'd have 3,380 points. Times that times 12, and you're at 40,000 points per year. And so even if you just do the bare minimum, you're going to accumulate quite a big total of points. Now, I also put on here earn bonus points by shopping through the cards portal. Most credit cards that offer points and miles will have a shopping portal. And right here, I have the example of the Chase portal. You click on earn bonus points, and there will be a alphabetical list of merchants that offer you an extra point. So let's say that I wanted to shop at Walmart. Instead of getting just the single 1 point per dollar spent, I'm going to earn an extra point per dollar spent. So 2 points per dollar spent. Um, these bonuses can actually add up quite a bit, and especially since we do most of our shopping online for things that aren't like grocery related. Um, you can really add quite a lot to your points every month by just taking advantage of this. Now, not everybody's on there, like for instance, Amazon isn't on there or such, but there are quite a few retailers that you will use every month. Now, if you throw that on top of what you've already got, it's very possible that you could get 50,000 points in a year. All right, moving on. We have what I call the short term strategy for picking up miles and points. You might also hear it termed as travel hacking. Um, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. You don't have to do this to collect miles and points. You can just do the long term strategy, like we talked about, where you use your everyday spending to accumulate points. You don't have to necessarily do what we're talking about on this page. However, it is a good way to pick up a big block of bonus points, and there's really nothing wrong with doing it. It's just exposing a loophole that a lot of the credit cards have. Nothing illegal, even though we call it travel hacking. But the credit card companies obviously don't want you to do it because they want to keep your business. Um, what we're doing here is you will look for a credit card that has a high bonus offer on the initial spend requirement. So in this case, the United Explorer card, you're going to earn 65,000 bonus miles after the qualifying purchases. Normally, those qualifying purchases are about $3,000 in the first 90 days. So if you hit that, they'll deposit 65,000 bonus miles into your account. Now, notice what I circled over on the right. There's zero intro annual fee for the first year, then $95 after that. So for the first year, you can enjoy this card without having any annual fee, and you'll collect the 65,000 points plus whatever else you spend. So what you do is you open the card, you meet the spend qualification, you keep the card for some period of time, but then before that first year ends, you'll go ahead and close the card, and the point you can keep the points. Now, is this a loophole? Absolutely. Um, like we said, nothing illegal about it. If you think of what the credit cards, how they make their money, the vast majority of credit cards, they make the bulk of their money on interest payments. So that's why they don't want you to do this. They don't want you to just use the card responsibly and then at the end of a year, um, close the account, right? They would like you to use this card, and in theory, they would like you to keep a balance. And so they get these very high uh, interest rates and continue getting money from you. So this is just a loophole to that. Like we said, it is not for everyone. And opening and closing a card does have a small effect on your credit score. So, like I said before, you might see little blips up and down on your credit score especially if you're using this method. But as I mentioned before, too, um, those little ups and downs are going to be offset by other positive credit influences like your low debt usage, paying off your credit card, etc. But we always encourage you to read the fine print and do the research for yourself. Okay, so you've amassed a big ton of points and now you want to spend them. So what are your options? Here I've taken a screenshot. This is the Ultimate Rewards website, and this is mine. I have a little less than 44,000 points. And the two things I want you to take away from here, from this section, is one, you don't have to spend your points on frequent flyer miles, and two, think of your points as money. So as you see there, you can get cash back on your credit card statement. You can redeem your points for Amazon purchases, Apple purchases. You can get gift cards. So even if you're not into travel, even if someone you know is not into travel, but they're thinking of getting into points, there's still a lot of value to be had in collecting points and using them for just whatever. But for the most part, 99% of the time, you're going to get the most amount of value by using your points for airline points and miles. When I say think of your points as money, I want you to think of them. Some people just think of points as, oh, I've got 40,000 points, but that doesn't equate to a dollar amount in their head. So let me show you what I'm talking about. These are some offers that were available on the Ultimate Rewards website that I just copy and pasted. So if we do the math here, we see on Amazon, I have 43,783 points. That amount of points equates to $350 in Amazon credit, which is pretty good, right? But if we do the math and divide 350 divided dollars divided by 43,000, really each of our points is only worth less than 1 penny, which is not very good, right? When you think of it that way. There was an Apple offer here where you get 25% bonus. So my 43,783 points is worth 547. When you do that math, it's 1.2 cents. Anything over 1 cent I consider to be a good value. If we look here, if we traded it in for Airbnb gift cards, my 10,000 points, or you can trade in 10,000 points for $100. So it's a straight up 1 cent per dollar. Again, not bad. And actually, that's the way that you can get discounts on Airbnb because they don't have their own points credit card. But think of it as a dollar amount. If you trade them in for Amazon, you're actually getting a less good value than if you use them on any of the other offers, basically. You're kind of giving away a percentage of your offer. So, like I said before, where you're going to get the bulk of your value is by transferring your points to a travel partner. So on Chase, and this changes for every credit card that has travel partners, there will be a button that says, transfer to travel partners, unless it is a branded credit card by that airline. So when I click that button, what I'm going to be able to do is do a 1-for-1 swap. Sometimes they do a promotion where you get a little bit more, but it's a 1-for-1 swap for one of the credit card points for 1 point in any of these airlines. So I'm going to give you an example in the Chase Mileage Plus, the United Mileage Plus program, and we'll look at that now. Okay, so here we have a sample itinerary, and on one side of the screen we see what the mileage award price is versus if you're going to pay cash. So I've just taken random dates from Alexandria, Louisiana to Honolulu, Hawaii. September itinerary, that's kind of a downtime. So I was able to find a Saver Award for 45,000 miles, which isn't bad. If you look over on the other side, if you were going to get this exact same itinerary for the exact same time period, it would cost you $1,089.07. So if you do the math, $1,000 divided by 45,000 miles, you're actually getting almost 2.5 cents per mile, which is extremely good, especially when you consider that your point per mile for the others was barely 1.5 on the very best offer. So this is where you're going to get the best value. Now, even if you took a different itinerary, one that had more stops, or the cheapest available, the price would have been $715, and uh, that still gives you a value of 1.58 cents per mile, which still beats any of the other gift cards or any sort of credit that you would have gotten on the credit card. So again, using points for travel for frequent flyer miles is almost always going to get you the best value. And we want to look at these miles as money. They are an asset that you can use, and so you want to use them wisely. Now, when we looked at that list um, of carriers that you can transfer points to. There were a lot of, international carriers like Singapore Airlines and British Airways and Air France. And a lot of people think, well, I'm never going to use that, even if I just want to fly domestically. But most airlines have alliances that allow them to sell code share flight itineraries. And I won't get into the real specifics of that, get into the weeds of that. But basically, what that allows airlines to do is sell each other's tickets so that each airline can offer truly worldwide service. So the good thing about that when you're doing miles and points is in some cases you'll be able to find cheaper flights on the international carrier's website than you would on the domestic carrier's website. Um, for example, one of the good ways to get to Hawaii, if you're looking in that direction, is to look at Singapore Airlines. Um, if you notice, I looked up same date, same time, same flight, everything. On the United website for Saturday, August 28th, United is offering this one-way flight for 22,500 miles. Singapore Airlines, you can save 5,000 of your hard-earned miles if you go through them. And again, it's the same flight, same time, same everything. You're just being ticketed by a different airline. So something very interesting to look at. It's something that you can also dive deeper into if you go to each airline's website and look at their alliance partners. They should have a web page with all the different airlines that they partner with, and then you can look at those airlines' frequent flyer programs, and occasionally you can find a cheaper flight. Again, this is kind of a more advanced level uh, thing to do. It may not be your thing just yet. It may never be your thing, but it is out there, and you don't have to use it. You can still just use the domestic airlines website. All right, you've learned about collecting points and how to use them. Here are now my top 3 recommendations on credit cards to get you going. The first one is the Hilton Honors American Express. Generally, uh, hotel credit cards, their points are less valuable than airline points, partly because airline tickets can be so expensive. You're not going to get the same value. However, I really like this card for 3 reasons. It's a really good starter card because, one, there's no annual fee. Two, you're going to really start collecting points very quickly with the point per dollar ratios that you're going to get. Notice the 5 times the points per dollar on dining, groceries, and gas. So a lot of people, that's going to be some of their main purchases. That's going to add up real quick. And number 3, American Express requires you to pay off the card every month. So if you get this card, it's a very low spend limit to get the bonus, 80,000 point bonus right now. Um, if you get it and you decide, you know what, this isn't for me, I can't keep up, there's no annual fee, so you're not going to have to cancel it. And American Express is going, like I said, is going to make you pay it off every month. So there's no chance you're going to, get in trouble with this card and have a huge balance that you're going to have to pay off. If you notice, there's the referral link below. In all of these, if you'd like to use the referral link, please do. Um, you're under no obligations, but we definitely appreciate it. The second one is actually kind of the family of cards that Chase has. They have some really, really good products out there that get you a lot of points. The Chase Freedom Flex has no annual fee, and there's a revolving category that changes every quarter where you can earn 5 times the points per dollar, which is huge because those points can be um, turned into airline points, which are, as we said, more valuable. So I definitely recommend that one. There's this Chase Sapphire Preferred. It gives you a good point per dollar on dining and travel. There's no foreign transaction fee. The bonus is currently at 100,000 as of July 2021 at this recording, which is unbelievable. So we definitely recommend that one. Now, another thing that is worth mentioning is Chase points can be stacked. Notice we listed the United Explorer Mileage Plus. So if you get that credit card and you get the Sapphire credit card, your ultimate rewards points that you earn on the Sapphire or the Freedom can be turned into United points, and that way you can combine them so that you have a real large bank of points whenever you uh, get to the point that you want to travel. All right, the last one is the American Advantage Aviator Red. This is a good short-term points accumulation card. Remember, I said this might not be for everyone, but it's a really great way to work that loophole. Um, what the deal is you earn 60,000 points after paying the $99 annual fee and spending $1 on the card. So when I got this card, I literally got it in the mail, drove down to the convenience store down the road from me, and I bought a Coke for $1.50 and paid the $99 annual fee, and 60,000 points were credited to my account. Um, you can use those 60,000 points, and as long as you cancel this card within the first year, it's like getting two round trip saver award tickets. So you might have to kind of pick and choose the dates for $99 plus whatever you end up charging to it. Again, the link is there. This one I don't get any kickback from. So, try it out if you want to. It was definitely worth it for us. Well, that's the end of this presentation. Part 2 is coming. It's a beginner's guide to travel planning. In addition to doing the points, when we travel, we also look for good travel deals. And people are always asking, where do you find the best travel deals? We'll kind of go over that probably within the next month. If you have travel questions, I've listed our information there. We have a blog that my mom and probably 2 other people are currently reading. If you'd like to double that number, triple that number, please feel free to. Instagram and Facebook is there. And we'd like to thank you very much for tuning in and hope that you have safe travels.